What is good, you guys? It's Tacosallday. I got my bro,
Kami.
and I got my two guests again for another version of this.
Felix.
Odin.
All right, and we're going to continue on with another. Why is it so hard to open up?
Man, that's a great question.
Sorry, my bad. The way you look. So yeah, like we said in the last podcast, I was just wondering like why is it so hard to open up and why are feelings so strong that they can keep you silent? I just really didn't truly understand that. In the last podcast, they actually did answer a good portion of that. I want to say they satisfied what I had, but now we got a little bit more for you. So now I get to be greedy. So.
But before we let you go ham, Kami, we're going to start with Felix since you wanted to bring in something else.
Well, thank you, Taco.
Yep.
Trust is very important. Trust, especially for a woman. Let me strike that. Trust in general across the board because men need trust too. So if you feel that you can trust someone, especially when the I love you come in, you may not feel that you may feel that you may not get rejected, so you come out with it and you say I love you, but you're hoping that someone reciprocates that. But if they don't, okay, that's sad, but it takes trust to even put yourself out there in the first place, to even say those words, unless you're a con man. Like Odin was saying at one time after he got rejected for saying it the first time to someone. And then he was just saying it just because to see what the reaction was from someone else. But if you really sincerely say, I love you to someone, and it takes trust, not to mention just guts. So that's why it's hard, I think, for people to actually say those words because you don't know what you're going to get back.
I'm going to disagree.
Naturally.
I don't believe that it takes trust to say your own feelings. Why does it take trust for you to say what you are feeling? At that time, you are the only person that knows how you are feeling.
Is that a fact? Let me ask you this.
All right.
Before you got to know me, when you first started coming over to the house, and did you know I was welcoming, like, because you come up and you sit down you can sit down all the time and be just like comfortable and just be like, Mom, let me tell you this. When you first did that, did you know how I was going to react to that?
Did I know how you were going to react to
Yeah.
me being who I am?
How you know I wasn't going to tell you, going downstairs, don't come up here with all that.
I'm not your mommy.
Sorry.
I'm not your mom. I ain't your friend. So
I ain't Bozo the Clown.
I'm
sorry.
Okay, shut up. I mean, you know what I mean? So it had to have some amount of trust, I think, on your part to think that I was going to be accepting of that.
No, what I had was my belief. The universe got me, so I'm good. So wherever I go, I'm good. That's kind of how that's how I operate. That's why I came off the way I came off. You're like, oh, you give hugs. we thought we shake hands. If I don't believe that I'm gonna go into somebody's house who has already invited me there to get essentially to get pushed away and pushed back out. Now, granted, can that happen? Possibly. Did that happen to me? No, which furthers my belief. Essentially, that helped further my belief that the universe got me, so I'm good. I came through the very first time I met you. What did I do? Oh, Mom, how you doing? I gave you a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would be uncomfortable with somebody who they have no idea who I am, just coming up and giving you a hug. I did just that because of how I feel and how I believe, things are going to go. So did I have to trust that, you weren't going to like flip out and try to kill me? I don't believe that I surround myself with anybody that would invite me somewhere, which we call a snake, to get me killed or hurt.
But
or
you didn't know
tainted.
that. My point is, I understand your belief in the universe and all that, but you didn't know that. So you had to trust that I was welcoming. You may not admit that, but you really do, because you're putting yourself out there every time that you're introducing yourself to someone, that you're going into a space, that you say I love you, that you saying, hey, can you be my friend? Like, you didn't know Daniel was even going to be like all welcoming when you first approach him. You put yourself out there, so it does take a certain amount of trust. Unless you got these ironclad balls that that if somebody kicks you in your growing, that it just bounces off. Like it's no big deal. I don't know how you can be ironclad. Oh no, that's right. You always had that support system where, even to this day, that because you just showed me your family, your large, welcoming, large brood, having that wonderful party. You've always had that. So it's not like you needed somebody, but when you have no one, that trust is paramount, because then you're going to get rejected again, or you might get rejected again.
So I'm going to interject right there. I can see the two sides of the coin, where one who grew up without any of that, you know, the camaraderie of the family, the love of the family, the trust of the family, where it's always good, you know, you can always say hi to somebody and they'll always be cool with it. I can understand that point, and I can understand Kami's point, because I grew up like Kami's point, where I'm always going to say hi to a friend's mom or father and be like, hey, what's good, bruh? What's good, fam? And be like,
because that's how you grew up.
yes, that's how we grew up. So, of course, it'll be different for you, and, you know, because you seeing things on your side from your childhood as
Right.
opposed to us seeing things from ours, which I could say is a privileged way of seeing things, because we grew up without having to worry about, does my family not even love me? You know?
Yeah. Even just the basis of your family.
Yeah.
Your mom, your dad, because I was joking with my mom and dad, this not my dad, but I was joking with my siblings yesterday, because my parents are elderly and sickly, and, you know, my mom's talking about dividing up the will, and this was just last night. And so I'm the youngest of 6, right? My next oldest sibling is 5 years older than me. My oldest is 12 years older. And so my mom's talking about this document for some insurance that she had, but guess whose name's not on it? Mine. And she said, oh, I did it when you was, before you were born. I said, but I've been on this year for 52 years, on the world earth for 52 years. My name ain't got on that document yet. And so that was the first thing. And then she was talking about who should I leave this to and who should I leave that to. And then I started just acting like I'm writing on the wall. Or they was talking about favorites, because my dad had the darker skinned kids he really loved. And my mom had the one lighter skinned daughter that she cared for, but my father couldn't stand. And me and the other light skinned girl, we just weren't liked. We weren't any part of anybody's favorite. And so that came up yesterday. Did you hear me say, oh, you was in the back?
I was in the back with the kids.
Yeah, so I openly say I was nobody's favorite. Nobody's favorite. And so I'm joking, so they thinking it's funny, but I'm saying, act like I'm writing on the wall, like I'm writing in the will. Felicia gets nothing, but Felicia has to make sure she gets their house clean, pay the taxes, Felix. Do all this, that, and the other. I got to make sure everything is done. You know? So, not even from my mom and dad and siblings. So, let alone going to school, being ostracized by some white girls.
Yeah.
Because of integration.
Yeah.
So, it's from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's why I said I can see both sides, because
Right.
I can definitely understand yours, because I grew up in that house too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been in the same decade, but I definitely grew up in that house, and I know exactly what you mean. It's yeah. I'm not gonna explain it, but yeah, it was not fun. It was not good. It was not welcoming. It was just, you slept there, then you had to go somewhere to go, you know, do your thing. You know, you go to
Hide
school,
in the
go to work.
bedroom.
Yeah, because you just get away from them. It was like a hotel essentially.
Right. Well, I can emphasize on the fact that it still takes trust, and when I say that, it's because if you come to her and she's not open and welcoming, like for instance, you got all 7 of your friends, and you go meet each and every one of their moms, and the first 3 moms that you meet, neither one of them are welcoming, would you feel as open to come at this 4th mom the way you came at the last 3 moms?
Good point.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
well,
gonna do that.
what about the time
I
when
wouldn't.
I understand. But what about the time with the girl that you told us you was dating, and she had the difficult dad, and you have not dated one since then because of the altercation that you had with? I might not have the whole story correctly, but you said, you know, you have a barrier there against, you know, them, that type of people, and it's like it's a trust issue there now because of what someone else did.
Oh, to clarify,
Okay.
you had it kind of right. You know what I mean? She had a difficult mom.
Oh,
difficult mom. She was raised by her pops, and she didn't have a good relationship with her mom. Now, this all comes with growing up and experiences and finding out what you don't like and what you will not, which you will no longer tolerate. Okay. Now, with that, I was like, yeah, that's one of the things on my checklist now. You need to be to me. I need to see you interact with your parents, and I need you to give them the proper respect and love that they showed you. Okay, and that is from what you have told me, and this is what me and her was talking. Like she would say the world about her pop and how her mom, but then they get to talking, and I'm like, yeah, that's totally opposite of what you just told me. And then it turns out that the reason why she would act a certain way towards me is because of the bad relationship with her mom. Now, am I gonna tolerate any of that any longer? No, I shall not do that any longer. While trusting that, yeah, no, I won't go near it anymore. That's not something I choose to deal with. I don't personally believe that has something to do with trust. I believe that has something to do with, I know I don't like sour Skittles. Why would I go waste my time and money to buy a pack of sour Skittles to put the first one in my mouth to be like, yeah, I don't like this. But you already knew that.
But you don't know until you get into it.
But I know that sour Skittles are sour before I get them
Because that's on the package.
Yeah.
But if you meet, let's say you meet a sister right now.
Mhm.
You meet a sister. You don't have no idea what her mama or her daddy or her sisters and brothers. You don't know none of that.
Okay.
All you see is she may be fine and she kind of cute and she likes to play video games.
Mhm.
Well,
We in there. we in there.
What if her dad and mom acted what if her dad and mom acted the same way towards you as that other relationship?
Right.
And they like, nah, you know what type of dude we want you to talk to. And, some people want their child to date outside, their face sometimes. And what if they wanted that for their child? And then you see that, what are you going to do next? Are you going to put that on?
I'm gonna respond accordingly, and that's what I was taught by my ex's dad. Treat people accordingly. So I respond accordingly. Now, am I gonna be like, oh no, I no longer trust anything you do, even though you haven't done me wrong at all so far? I'm not built like that. That's just it. I'm gonna still go in there, and once I start to see her resemble her parents' words, like you just said, oh, okay. Later, I'm gone, because that's not something I'm going to tolerate. I trusted her until then.
So the girl that you talked to, she did not resemble her. She did resemble her parents' words.
It took
time to see it.
It took time for me to see it, granted, because she was 11 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a much better at this whole dating and relationship game than I was at that point in time. So it took time for me to really figure out what I liked and what I disliked and what I will and will not tolerate. So that comes with experience, though. I still have the experience that does not involve trust, and even then I voiced my feelings, of how I did not like things and how I do like things. I still voiced that feeling because I felt like you are supposed to be free and you have to give your very best. I tell my nieces this, and I tell all my friends this. You do your best. Nobody can tell you that, you know, oh, well, you didn't. No, I did my very best, you know. So that's just, I mean, Taco can attest to that. Me doing
You
my
do
best.
say that.
Let me
Yeah.
interject.
Well,
Well, then you're very lucky. Your nieces are very lucky because they have this opportunity to express themselves freely and not get knocked upside the wall when they do.
Okay, I mean, now, what to that, I can say, the reason I am this way is because when I would say something back, oh, that's disrespect. Granted, man, family full of women. The minute you say something back and they know they're right, oh, okay, you want to buck your chest up. Yeah, I knocked your little ass down.
It's not just women.
That's what they say. Well,
It's-
I'm talking about
it's
from my,
men. Okay, it's men too.
from my personal
Okay.
experience. I got it. You know what I'm saying? My dad wasn't in my life. I just talked to him September 4th, a few days after my birthday. You know what I mean? That's 26 years. So when I'm talking about, you know, when I say something back, it's immediately nah, you disrespectful little, oh, you ungrateful little. So I did have those experiences. However, I choose to absorb now, by the way, because we know everybody has 2020 when dealing with hindsight, you know what I mean? Now I choose to absorb those certain lessons that they decide to teach me in those certain ways. Because I know that they love me. It's just the way they tried to convey it at that time was wrong. Because I didn't receive it that way. You know, they didn't speak to be received. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. You know, and for anybody who's unfortunate enough to have to deal with that similar thing, I understand.
Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from. I guess I want to get back to the part about the whole love thing. When it comes to loving and trusting, when you first see someone and you're attracted to them, and I don't know if people believe in it, but people have said, well, I know people do believe in it, but I don't know if you guys do. People have said, you know, they fell in love with someone the first time they saw somebody. You know what I'm saying? And are you trusting enough? Oh no, I'm not going to use trusting. Are you comfortable enough knowing that you love this girl at first sight to tell her when you first introduce yourself to her and try to, you know, come at her whatever game you got or whatever you want to say, to tell her you love her based off your feelings? Or will you wait till you're comfortable enough to say it after you start talking and dating with her?
I'm going to. You got my look. Great question.
I'm just watching the dynamic. Y'all have fun.
So, am I going to come to a complete and total stranger and be like, I love you? No. However, what I will do is I will say in a different way, I love you. Like most people do. I don't tell Daniel, oh yeah, bro, yeah, I love you. I've never said that. However, that doesn't need to be said because I clearly show that I got much love for Daniel and his family. Now, we don't know who Daniel is. We all don't. But that is one easy way of me, you know, answering that simple question that you just asked. Oh, you stranger at first sight? Oh, yeah. No. I'm not going to specifically say it out of my mouth. However, I will introduce myself. I will make sure that I get this person's name and we make a connection, because obviously that connection established itself off straight energy. I look that way and it oh my God, hit me right in the chest. That's just kind of explaining there, Odin?
Does that explain?
Is that what you are kind of trying to, convey to me, for me to explain back to you?
But that
how I would
person
handle
has
that?
to be responsive to you in the way you want it to be responded to.
In the way I would need them to be responsive.
Right.
Responsive. Yes,
Right.
most definitely. The
You
way I
weren't-
would want them to
you
respond
You didn't
is...
get rejected.
Hmm?
You can't be rejected.
I mean, honestly, I know it's 2018. However, it was. I come from an era where, you know, said, depending on what was said, it is a vague. Maybe I will talk to you. So then that's when you deal with perseverance, persistence, commitment, dedication, determination. I mean, you know, I can say it on multiple different ways. It mean the same thing.
Another question.
Keep going until you get the answer you want, or until you get an answer that is a wall. Yes or no? Odin, what's your question?
My question is, okay, you walked up to this person that you, in your mind, have decided that you are in love with. And how can you sugarcoat or beat around the bush to tell this person, if they could see that somehow you're telling them you love them through your sugarcoating, or however you're trying to express your love to them without knowing them or showing it in the first place?
You just asked me what seems like a paradox. Let me just make sure I have that question correct. You asked me, hey, without expressing it by saying it or showing it, how would I convey the energy of I love you to them?
Why would they accept that you said that you love them, even if you were bold enough to say, hey, I love you because this is how I feel? You know what I'm saying?
Even
I guess.
if,
Go ahead.
wait, can we run it back? Run it back. Ask the question again, please.
Question is, how can you say you love someone that you just met in the first place? Period. Because
Bold.
okay, even if you're bold enough to say, hey, girl, I don't know your name, but the instant I saw you, I fell in love with you. Now,
And you know what we would say? Boy, please.
how are they going to receive that?
Like I told you.
With this guy that you know named Daniel, that y'all know y'all boys and y'all love each other, that was built over time. You know what I mean? That was built like, hey man, I know that's my brother, he got my back. Versus I'm in love with this girl that I just met, and I want to say it in the first couple of sentences, beating around the bush, or her getting the gist of I love her with my words that I'm speaking. You know what I mean?
I got you. Actually, it's really simple, honestly. Whether you get the answer you want or not, as long as you know who you are and what you're going to say from the get-go, you would just say it. I love you. You may not believe me right now or anything like that. That's cool. You don't have to like me back. But I just wanted to let you know.
I wouldn't advise it.
That's some people's straightforward plan. That it may work for them, it may not, but that's them.
I guess where I'm trying to get to is, do y'all think it's actually love that you feel for this person?
No. Never.
I'm gonna be real. Not at all.
None.
It's not
It's
love.
not love.
And that's the pushback that is going to happen. As soon as you say it or try to express it in any way to this person that you've never met, unless you're coming at them at some Christians and saying, hey, I love you, brother or sister. If you come at some girl that you even want to talk to and you tell them you love them off the break in whatever way you want to tell them, it's going to be pushback off the break. And
Oh,
they're
of
going to
course.
think you're crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because you are. Because immediately
No,
after...
not necessarily. You know
What
why?
I would
That's
say...
this day and age. But once upon a time,
That meant something
once
back
upon
then.
a time. But see, now it's a negative connotation to doing that because people will think you're crazy,
Yeah.
or think that you're a stalker, or think you're dangerous, or all the above. Once upon a time, people did that, I think, but I don't think necessarily.
Nowadays, yeah, because now with everybody having not just access to information and having their own self-worth, self-identity.
Or people being crazy.
That too, especially that. Or people that would say, I love you, knowing full well, how do you love me when you don't even know my name? You know, that's, you know.
But it's kind of romantic if someone comes up to you and say, you know, I'm going to marry you.
That's better than saying I love you, because
That
marriage,
is.
because that means
Is it?
I plan on working with you.
That is.
Instead of saying I love you straight up. It's like, bruh, what? I want to marry you one day. Like, okay, that's still creepy, but it's more romantic creepy than I'm gonna kill you if you say no creepy,
Or you just saying I love you.
which is still scary in this day and age when most assaults and deaths come from a rejection of somebody saying something to some, old lady, So.
And I think what's even crazier if the person say, "Oh my God, I love you too."
You ain't ready for that. You're like, wait, what?
Now, what are you gonna do in that moment? You know,
That'd be funny.
That would be. That's the best.
Turn
That's
the crazy back onto him.
exactly like when somebody hollering at a lady and she says, "Oh, I love you too. You ready to take care of my kids?" That's when you know that you got a real one. Because if he says, "Yeah, bet," then it's like, well, your rejection can't work on him because he's ready for it all.
oh my
You
God.
got kids, baby daddy, and a guy in a car, and he's like, "Let's go."
That's hilarious.
Okay.
Some people do that. It is crazy.
Okay. To get back.
Let's get back to the point, though.
Okay. To get back and also answer Odin's question of how you're gonna, express yourself in some way, shape, or form. I love you without saying it. Or showing it.
And they receive it.
And they receive it.
I think it starts with like.
Like you think it starts with like interest and like.
Like, I like you.
No, I mean I thought you were gonna say something.
That was
Stop.
That's what it, I get it.
Oh.
I like you. I want to take you
I
out.
was like waiting for something else. All right, you threw me off. That threw me off.
I get you.
It's like, okay. And there we go. Okay, there we go. I got it back. All right. So, yeah, it may start with like. However, what you're saying, Odin, that's establishing the connection. The connection has established itself, right? So now you got to build up that connection. More than likely, I want to say energy doesn't work the same. Energy does not work in the way of which you say, or you feel this strong feeling. You feel a strong feeling, and it's not only you. More than likely, it's not only you. Now, it all depends on who's going to act upon it first. You could even feel that connection, and y'all make eye contact. Boom. Y'all make eye contact, and depending on her body language says, oh, okay. It's time. It's time. It's time for me to go and approach. Now, am I gonna be like, hey, I love you? Nah, we're not doing all that. Your name is.
Shim Shady.
I was about to say.
Anyway, you know what I mean? Like you introduce yourself. Like it all starts with the introduction, regardless. You know what I'm saying? For anything, it's an introduction. You introduce yourself, and now you build up off that connection. Now you used to be a player. You turn to somebody, look, I like the way you look physically. Yeah, I'm trying to crack. I'm trying to smash real quick. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z of my old playbook to see if it works on you. This is called game. Oh, yeah, I love you too. We're going to be together forever. Oh, yeah, we're going to get a big house. We're going to have all this stuff. It's going to be so good. Trust me. Yeah, we call that dream selling. There was
No, it's called you about to get cut.
There was no
I didn't go that far. They know what
there was no connection there. But you wanted to do something physically, and you knew that if you just say something, if you just said something, yeah, I'm trying to do this. That possibly lowers your chances of actually doing what you want to do. So you're like, yeah. But when you felt that connection, because you have a wife now, right? Yeah, you have a wife. Whoa, you got the connection. All of a sudden, there ain't nobody else. So what you ask that question is easy. You introduce yourself because the connection is there for both of you.
Sometimes that eye contact is powerful.
It really is. Sometimes
Is going-
I can't do it anymore because I can't see. So I don't got eye contact.
You
so
could be missing all that eye contact.
I could be missing so much.
Love.
I just won't know because I can't see shit. I just can't. I won't be able to.
Missing all that eye
So I'm
love.
just be like, it passed me by.
Something you feel though, like he said.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
you
but then
feel.
again, I gotta look at somewhere. I can't look anywhere besides straight because I can't see nothing else anyway.
The blind find love all the time, bro.
Yeah, dude. Nah, I'm not gonna be out there looking for it.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Because they feel it.
But yeah, I think that was a pretty decent spot to end it on, honestly. I mean, unless there's anything else we want to talk about why it's so hard to, get into, expressing yourself aside from, trust and
Being rejected.
I just wanted to kind of establish a conclusion on what my man Kami was saying about trust. Does it need trust? And I guess from what he says, it doesn't need trust all the time to be able to tell a person to how you feel. But for most people, it does. You know what I'm saying? It does take trust.
yeah.
And it's almost for me impossible to continue moving forward a person that I can't really trust myself around, or trust that, hey, this is going to work, or trust that you're going to love me back the way I want to love you back, and that we're both going to give 100% to this relationship.
I agree. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree. And I believe that that's gonna satisfy my questions. My questions for this week. There will be more.
Much more.
Definitely.
No doubt.
And I appreciate my guests for coming back out. Unfortunately, Felix had to run out because, duty calls. But thanks again, you guys, for coming through.
Yeah, this Kami.
This is Odin.
And I will see you guys in the next video. Much love, and as always, pieces, everybody.
Peace.